To have a further understanding of this issue, joining me now from New York, Irina Zuckerman, a security analyst and human rights lawyer. Thank you very much for joining us, Irina.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
If I may start with the latest U.S. announcement, they seized weapons and oil shipments in the Arabian Sea, which were heading to Houthi rebels. How do you read this in view of the current Houthi militia escalation in Marib?
Unfortunately, such incidents have empowered Houthis to come back to attack again and again. Despite airstrikes from the Arab, which cost Houthis hundreds of lives in just the latest few days. This is not the first time where Houthis were able to return after being seemingly pushed back, thanks to the steady flow of sophisticated weapons such as precision missiles, drones, and surface-to-air missiles that they receive from Iran through these shipments. And until that flow is disrupted for good, they will continue to come back. Marib is a strategically vital area for Iran because this is the last stronghold of the Arab coalition in the north. And should it fall, the Houthis will have unfettered access straight to the south and to the borders with Saudi Arabia. For that reason, any amount of weapons that they need will continue to flow steadily until they achieve their goal.
Irina, recently the U.S. envoy Tim King said in a statement that the issue for resolving the Yemeni conflict is Iran. What is your take on that?
Iran, no doubt, is the real power in Yemen. For instance, the Iranian ambassador in Sana'a, who appeared in the country seemingly through a third country and recently had to leave allegedly due to a COVID infection, he has been seen by international organizations such as the Red Cross and other humanitarian organizations more often than Houthi leadership. He had established a presence in Sana'a and was de facto in control of the operations. A recent report by Wall Street Journal claims that the Houthis were unhappy with the situation and wanted him to leave, but it is no doubt that someone else will come back as a replacement if he does not recover from whatever is ailing him, because Iran is treating Houthis as a proxy, not as a partner, and is using them to achieve their regional agenda, but does not view them as an independent power, and in exchange for providing weapons, financing, and backing, has accumulated political control inside the country and is now expanding its presence. In fact, there are now rumors of IRGC building a military base in Yemen. If true, that further consolidates Iranian control inside the country, bypassing Houthi presence and Houthi operations in the maritime region around the country.
Lastly, I want to ask you, what do you think the future scenarios of the conflict in Yemen?
Until Iran is separated from the Houthis, the conflict will continue. The Houthis have been able to gain control of the territory, of a significant chunk of territory and population inside the country, but more importantly than territorial control is their ideological hold, which they have been able to establish through intelligence networks and marital arrangements. Iran is helping them stay in power despite the fact that the country is going through a tremendous humanitarian crisis, and they have consolidated humanitarian aid in the hands of a small clique and have been discriminating about significant portions of the population and mistreating them. But because of Iran's backing them with weapons, they continue to stay in power, and they are being trained and they're becoming more sophisticated. So the key to being able to militarily defeat Houthis, or else force them into some sort of a political compromise or political defeat, is getting Iran out of there.
I'm afraid we have to leave it here, Irina. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you for joining us.